Okay, hold on.
And
yeah,
when you are greeting people, you are greeting them, and you are doing your body like that, and you are, laughing and, moving somehow in a way that it might be understandable to girls. And I'm sure I'm offending all the women in the house right now. And I'm someone that doesn't like to offend women. But, the reason why a lot of churches, there are many churches, mainly they have women in those churches. And many churches are always women dominated. And it's always maybe 60% women or more than 50% women. But in our church here, it's 50% men, 50% women. In the Embassy of God. Or almost 50-50. And the reason is because in most churches, too much emphasis is paid on or is laid on emotions. And the most demonstration of emotions in churches are praise and worship. Praise and worship for men is good because they need to do it. They need to praise God. But for women, it's not just about praising God. It's about enjoyment. Because women like expression. And they are more in emotion than men. So that's why most churches attract women. Another thing that people do, pastors do, is that they preach in churches. Emotion. They preach fast, they talk. Those things are good because they are talking about God, but those things appeal more to women because women want to use their ears and emotions. They want that. Women don't just get the word to hear the word of God through that, but they get their emotions restored and healed. That's why churches are full of women. And many pastors in the world are struggling with having men, but not me. Even though I honor women, and for me, I'm supposed to have women, and I have women without any problem. I have women, but I have men also without any problem, because there are some things that should be, toned right so that it will you have men. The other thing, other demands, other needs that men have. So there are many other things that people do in churches, shouting and making music, all those emphasis. They are good because they are doing for God. But those are things that are geared towards women because they are emotion-based. So what you are doing right now, each time, because you are a woman, proper. But what you are doing is also you are appealing to people like Anastasia. You appeal to people like, women who are excited, who are happy, that is good for women. But I'm just looking right now, I just put it on right now and I'm thinking, if I were to join that, I'm off. Because it comes across to a man as a playground, as a female thing. This is not for serious people. That is just how men are wired. Either you want to say, this is how I am, or this is how you are. Yes, I honor that. But you also have to think about people who are watching. And since we are not a female program, only for female audience, we must also bear in mind there are a lot of things that I would have liked to do too. Like, for example, I would have liked to be using Bible all the time. But because I'm on the platform, worldwide platform on the internet, I never even come with Bible here. It's not because I don't want to. I'm a preacher, but I have to mellow down on that. Because wisdom tells me that message. And I also could be doing a lot of, all those things people do. Prophecy, those are things that attract women more. Those are emotions, or healing, miracle, testimony. All those things attract. Men are compiled to show up. Only, in those churches, men are there too. Because for problems. Because they cannot resolve one problem or the other. Or because they are white, they follow their wife. That's why men are in church. Otherwise, charismatic churches, they are not for men in their formation. I mean, Pentecostal kind of churches. they are more for, that's just the way it's set up. Women. So now, I didn't know I was going to address this question, right? So, but I don't want to offend any woman there. You are women. I celebrate women. I love women. Anybody who's been on DSA TV know that I love women. I honor women. I respect women. I don't know any preacher that loves and respects women like I do. And I respect all your tendencies, all your antics. But even though we still have some men on this platform, but they are all waiting for Pastor Sunday's words. And that's why they are still hanging around. And if you notice, most of those men will come a bit later. And the first people you will always be having will be the women. I know I'm spoiling somebody's mood right there, right? And someone is not very happy with what I'm saying. But I have to sacrifice your own happiness to get the happiness of the larger group. Yes, you can entertain women, but I told you and your girlfriend to do something for women. Angels, God's angels or heaven's angels. Then you could do all your antics, the more you want, and talk all yeah. Those are women stuff. All those things are women stuff. Believe me. All those things are women stuff. And it depends on the crowd that we want to attract. But if we want to attract respected crowd of men, and if we want to attract the crowd of women that are more, focus-oriented and elderly and, more matured, and they fall into that category too. So what I would say, I'm not against what you are doing, it's okay. But I don't want us to be insensitive to men category, to the men group that are coming on this stage. And I don't want us to chase them away. So what I would advise is that even though you need to, I like communication and I am someone like that, but a lot of undercurrent into Pastor Sunday. I am someone that is for freedom, right? But I also use common sense a lot. And I'm also a thinking person. So I also use a lot of wisdom in what I do, in a lot of things that I do, even though I'm free. So I know this is going to create reaction, and I want to hear your reactions. I want to hear everybody's thought on this. But because it's my platform, I have responsibility for it, and because people are coming to see Pastor Sunday and to hear Pastor Sunday, it's better to present that Pastor Sunday to them more, in the sense that it's better to present to them, what they are expecting from Pastor Sunday. And mostly, I think they are expecting from Pastor Sunday the wisdom, the teaching, the direction, not necessarily the emotions. And that's what I will also, actually you call this fellowship with Pastor Sunday, but what I want us to call this is how to party the kingdom way. Party, going to party, how to party the kingdom way. And the reason I decided to do all this talk today is because of the celebrations of Sunday of DSA Golden Jubilee that I saw from all over. And I want us to somebody to help open some of the. I think we have some of them on YouTube. I want you to open up some of the celebrations of DSA Golden Jubilee. As laudable as that is, that DSA is being celebrated in different countries, I have discovered that all these people who are my children, who are my followers, who are my mentees, who are my friends, who are my colleagues, who are DSA family, as much as they love me so much and they have been following my teachings and they have been following me. But there are still some, believe me, there are still some aspects of DSA that you will be discovering every day, okay? And that you have not discovered. That's what I mean. It's not because you are doing something wrong or you are bad. It's just because you are not in my vicinity, or there has not been an opportunity for me to reveal that aspect of DSA to you. So all the videos that I saw, I see that people are still doing party and celebration, celebrating even DSA himself, just like any other celebration or party all over the world. Just like you will see anywhere with Christians, not unbelievers. There are no drinks and things. But there is a new dimension that I want to talk about today. What celebration means to Pastor Sunday. And I want to also let you see the difference between the way we celebrated here in the DSA Golden Jubilee in Kyiv on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday, as against, and what separates that or differentiates that from the way I have seen DSA himself being celebrated all over the world. I mean, I'm talking about partying now. So we are for partying. I'm a party guy. I mean, if you've seen the video from here, you see that we partied. We partied on Friday, we partied on Saturday, we partied on Sunday. All that was what Maiwa was waiting for. She had been waiting for that many times, and she was saying it, I'm waiting for this party, and I'm sure she had a good time. I'm sure she doesn't have any complaint about that. But I have a complaint about the way people who are who are under my name, who are under my umbrella, who are my children, who are my family, who are DSA family, the way they party. It's like I'm a troublemaker, right? I'm always seeing problem anywhere. But that's why I'm a kingdom carrier. That's why I needed to reflect kingdom. We want to change the world. We want to change the way the world is being done, it's being run. We want to change the way world views are concerning any question in life. We want to change the worldview of the world and of Christians concerning every subject. So even partying, we want to change the Christian worldview. That the way Christians are partying, I want to tell them that it is not right. And I want to help. And I want to help. I didn't have enough attitude. And I want to help everybody to know how to party the kingdom way. But it's like this thing I talked about emotions, is all intertwined into the topic of the day, which is partying. So you want to show us some of the parties? Okay, can you show us some of the parties that show the camera? I'm sure many people saw it. Don't let the music come, because if the music comes, then it cannot go on YouTube. Just show the pictures. Not to me, show to them. I've not seen it ever. Huh?
Can you see it?
It's not clear.
It's not clear. Because the recording is like this, because it's party.
No, Naklani go up.
Maybe closer.
Yeah.
It's still not clear.
Maybe you can comment. There is a like table dancing.
Is that good?
Yeah, pretty much.
I have few.
You have different ones.
Yeah.
But anyway, anybody can go to our platform and see. Don't worry, it's okay. Anybody could go to our YouTube and see the celebrations. And so, what do I have to say about that? What do I have to say about that? Before I talk about that, let's come closer. Let's discuss first and talk about what I spoke about earlier. Come close. What I spoke about concerning, you need some chairs? Or you need to come closer? Just bring your chair closer.
Thank you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. That's okay. That's okay. So who wants to start? Who wants to start with the emotions comment that I made? Let's start with that. Yes. You want to start?
Yes, I'd love to start. Hello, everybody. Hello. Good to see all of you again.
I need to come closer for her because our voice is not
I
as strong.
absolutely, wow, this topic on emotion is so needed for us in the kingdom of God, because we have to address this issue, because just like, you know, Pastor Sunday was saying, it always tends to be an issue where people, it's labeled a woman's issue, a woman's behavior. And it has, like he was saying, that naturally, as women, we are emotional. And, you know, it's part of who we are. But I'm so happy now to have an understanding that it's not the emotion, but it's not understanding how to use that emotion in the kingdom way. And I don't think that there's been enough understanding for us, because I know some men that are also very emotional, but
I am very emotional. I am very emotional. But I use my emotionally constructively. And I like to party, but I want to teach us today how to party constructively. For example, I'm going to offend a friend of mine here now, very good friend of mine, Pastor Great. When Pastor Great leads praise and worship, he came to my brother and he led some of the praise and worship, both here and in the church. Somebody was sitting beside me, and the thing the person said is that Pastor Great, like many Nigerians, thinks that the more noise you make, the more party you have. It is almost, to the typical Nigerian audience, it's African in general, it's almost that praise and worship means noise. I've had this discussion with Caribbeans, I've had it with, you know, Jamaicans, Africans, even African Americans, and there was another guy, Pastor Jeff, who was there too. And somebody said, look at the difference between the way this guy is leading and the way Pastor Great is leading. This one has been taught, or this one has been trained, or this one has been able to just clean himself of the dirt. But in most, just go on the internet and see praise and worship with Africans, church service. It's an embarrassment. It's a shame. I enjoy it. I also shout. I also jump around. But you will never attract people of other color, or people of other culture, or people of other faith, because it's not clean. It's not, you know, it's not purified. Huh?
Orderly.
It's not orderly. And we think that there is virtue. The more you shout, the more we make noise, the more we jump, that is where the worth is. But here in this country, and in most with the white people, they emphasize more the quality and the delivery. And for example, here in our church here, we have to have voice trainer or voice corrector that is working with the team. Everybody has to have voice classes. If you don't do that, you cannot be seen. But in our place, even people who are the stars. Okay, for example, I don't want to offend anybody, but the other day I was listening to Sonny Ade, horrible voice, and that's the biggest name in our own culture where I'm coming from. Then I listened to Ebenezer Obey that I used to enjoy as a child. Horrible voice. It's like they don't have anybody to put their something in place. But in our place, it doesn't really matter. I feel like the beat is right, and the noise is big enough, and the shout is so loud. People just gyrate and jump up and down. Now, but I'm a black man that God has used to do what most even white or black have not done. And I would say, I'm sharing with you my understanding. And, like this talk I'm doing, I'm referring to, I started out with Mayowa, right? And I'm sure Mayowa has argument, and that's what I like about her, because she will tell me her mind, and she will tell anybody her thinking. But for me, it's very difficult for you to dispute my arguments, because I've been there, I've done, and I've had success, and where most people don't have it. So what I'm saying is not just because I'm sentimental. What I'm saying is not just because I'm intolerant. I'm tolerant, though. It's difficult to find someone who is more tolerant than me. But things I'm saying, it means we have to pay attention to it. And we have to pay attention to it, because if we want to be effective on the level that we want to be effective in, I think that Mayowa has to do something about her emotions and all, and a girlish thing. Because the thing she's doing is for the girls. Something else. Those things are good, but they are for girls. They are not for grown-up men. And some men will be irritated by that. And especially if they are grown-up men. Okay, some of them, because they love Mayowa herself, because they have come to admire her and take her as who she is, so they will just say, oh, that's just Mayowa. Let's close our eyes. But that doesn't mean that they like it, or even though they will be commenting and still say, oh, Mayowa is good. But we want to attract not just the people who have already loved Mayowa or who have already loved Pastor Sunday. We want to attract everybody else that are even new to our culture or are even new to DSA. And we want to make all of them to at least feel welcome first. So that's why I started with that. Then later on I will get to the party and celebration part. Please, I'm sorry for cutting.
That's all right. Yeah, so I'm very, very excited to learn more about emotions and how to actually use those emotions to bring people to the Lord rather than to, offend them. And so I'm not offended. I'm a woman. And, surprisingly, a lot of you don't know, but my background is really in dance, and that's a very, very emotional thing. But as I learned to worship the Lord in my dance, I mean, he has shown me a lot of things about expressing who he is. And that's the most important thing to me in my dance, is the expression of who God is. And, of course, you need some emotions to be a dancer, And it could be a kind of edgy thing, dancing unto the Lord. But at the same time, I am excited to hear more about how do we use this emotion. How do we generate it in the right way as children of God and not, be out of control or even rigid. I'm sure he's also gonna talk about how we don't be so rigid that we are not even ourselves. So I look forward to that. But I'm not offended, and I'm really, really happy that you're going ahead, Pastor Sunday is going ahead with this and is going to teach us some things that we would need to know that will help us to attract more people to the kingdom of God. That's the bottom line at the end of the day.
Wow. Pastor, I have a brand new respect for you tonight. Like, it just went up further. And what I'm seeing is not even about what you're talking about. What I'm seeing is the capacity to correct. And the capacity to be a father is something our generation really needs. And one thing my dad had, and still has, is the ability to square up and address things. And I discovered my dad is completely different from my mom. He comes from a completely different angle. And my dad and my mom comes from a completely different angle. She's not wrong, and my dad is not wrong. But I discovered that when I pair what my dad
The sound, right?
says...
Yeah, I could tell that it's too far from her. I'm sorry. No, put it, just that trash it on you. It's very clear that it's too far from you.
What?
Is that what you are saying? Yeah. Yeah, please, go ahead.
So I discovered that when I compare what my dad says and what my mom says, I'm able to have a balanced life. But there's something about fatherhood and ability to, the strength to be able to make corrections without being afraid, and at the same time in love, is what will preserve you in the days to come, and also help you to rise above your equals. And you know, with the correction pastor is bringing, I am more focused on the willpower, the capacity to lift up a generation, the capacity to look one straight and tell one the truth. Because at the end of the day, what matters is the fact that a generation is corrected and taken care of because we have a father in the system. So for me, I'm like I'm in Pluto right now. I'm not even on Earth. You know, because it's just as if my dad is sitting next to me. And this is the kind of, like, you know, growing up, he didn't have a lot of finances, but he had a lot of voice. He's the kind of person that...
Influencer.
Yes, he would come to the event and everybody would be dancing around and he would set everybody straight real quick. So, and, you know, over time, I got to pick up a lot of that, the ability to just look at a very, very, you know, moving situation and quickly. So for me, I am taking it hook, line, and sinker, because I don't think pastor is coming from the angle of, I just want to say something. But I am sure, and, you know, with the analogy he puts and the way he explained it, it makes a lot of sense. And I also think it's a burden. Where it's coming from, there is a burden of fatherhood to be able to steer the generation in the right direction, to go in the right path. And this is also validates and affirms his message about fatherhood, that where fathers are not present, a whole lot is missing, because there is this injection the Father puts into you that helps you to rise above the limitations and even fly further than you can fly. You know, and if he could have chosen to massage the situation just because we pandered to him. But he chose to say the right way to do it, even though it was his celebration, even though it was his golden jubilee. But I mean, I am just praying to God for this kind of strength to be able, I mean, it was his birthday. And I believe that he is grateful and happy that, you know, he was celebrated, but at the same time, to find the strength to be able to lift them up, because this is what I call lifting up. You're helping people to see what they can be. And it's not a very easy road to work. And I believe, you know, if I did believe in pastor like 100% before, now I'm at 150%. Because this is like hitting the ball out of the ballpark, you know. And this is the kind of things that sets your head straight real quick and help you succeed and be in places even your colleagues can't even afford to walk through. And, you know, based off of pastor's credentials and his achievements in Europe, I mean, I am not the one to just come here and tell you, like, look, this man has been able to prove time and time again that he can raise the bar. So to come up with this kind of internal energy and just set everybody straight, to me, that's like $1 million. And it's needed. It's a preservation, a preservative agent. It's just like a salt in food that actually brings the savor out of it, because we can cook stuff and say, oh, it's sweet, but wait until you bring salt, then you now see a new level. You know, that's what I see. And I think, I mean, with the analogy of the accomplished musicians that we have. I mean, my jaw, I was just picking up my jaw on the floor. You know, my jaw is still on the floor. I'm still picking it up every time. You know, in my head, like, whoa. And now when you actually think, it's like when he demonstrates that ability to put your thinking cap on and actually analyze for yourself. And, you know, let your reasoning give you the response that we haven't been thinking. And if we really do think, we'll discover that there's a lot of gap between what we're doing, where we are, and where we ought to be. So thank you, Pastor.
But you just said something now. And the thing you said is that I did hear. You just said something now. And the thing you said is that I pray for the courage to be like him. I pray that one day I'll be able to be just like him and be able to, you know, raise the bar and talk about what I need to talk about. But you have an opportunity right now. That your prayer is about to be answered right now. Because if you pray that you prayed for the opportunity to be like Pastor Sunday, which is to be able to tell the truth in any circumstances. And I just raised an issue, which is, what do we do with Mayowa's emotions and her style? And you spoke for 10 minutes, 15, and you avoided Mayowa by all means, and the issue that I raised by name. And you too, praying at the same time that God should come from heaven to help you and hear your prayers to be like me. And that same God just presented you with an opportunity right now so that you speak to it. And you also did an artwork. You did the work, and refused to address the situation. It's just like my driver one time that I used to have. And he was saying, Pastor, I'm going on 21 days fast. I said 21 days, at least 2 days first. He said, no, I'm going on 21. I said, what happened? He said, because the wife God gave me, she has just killed me finished. Because I know it's God who gave me, so I'm going to God to resolve it. I said, okay, what's the thing you need to resolve? She is provoking me every time. She's just provoking me. So, okay, I said, go now. So he went on 21 days fast. After the 21 days, on Sunday, that's when he came out, he finished from the 21 days fast on Friday. Then on Sunday, he was supposed to come and pick me to the church. And he came and said, what happened that your eyes are red? Is it because you have not started eating? He said, I started to eat. But I came out of the fast on Friday. I came back home on Friday night. He said, by this morning, I told you, Pastor, that woman is demon possessed. I said, what happened? He said, because I just finished 21 days fast and she just started provoking me again. She said she's not ready for church. She's doing a makeup and my clothes, she didn't want to help me to iron it. She said, so I said, what happened? He said, she's provoking me again now. I said, but what were you praying about when you went to fast? That I will not be annoyed and easily annoyed and irritated. That I have the problem of irritation. So I pray that God should help me take away the irritation. 21 days. But this woman will not allow the thing to go. Because after 21 days, she started irritating me again. So I said, but if she will not irritate, but you just came out of the 21-day fast. You went there to pray that God will remove the irritation. By the time you came out on Friday, you believe that God has already removed it. But there must be a crying. Now we have to try the pace. I mean the
test. Yeah.
The test. You have to test it. Has it gone or has not gone? You said it has gone. Let's find out. You said God has answered your prayer and He has removed irritation. So God must also create a situation. It is your own. You feel like, yeah, I'm delivered. Is you feeling that. But there must be a test drive. So it is the woman that God has given you. That is the perfect example and the person who can test you now. So if God has answered your prayer, let's see now. So now you say you are even mad, more mad than before you went there. It means that prayer has not been answered. And that's why I told you, it's not prayer and fasting you need to remove your irritation. Even that woman that you said is the cause, even if you remove her now, you have still not changed. The only way to know if you have changed is if somebody irritates you. And at the end of the day, you are not getting irritated. It is, the pudding is in the eating. So it is then we know that God has answered prayer. But this will not be God's problem. It's going to be asking God and to come and give to you what you need to sit down on and work on your character about. So you are asking God to give you the boldness and the same thing to be able to talk and raise issues like that. But God did for heaven, me I did here, and you did here with me. And God, well, I just presented you the same opportunity. For her, I didn't touch her because I said, okay, let's leave the lady alone because I'm going on women too much these days. Now, you are talking, and then you also finish. So who should address the question I raised? Okay, you have opportunity to talk.
Okay, hi, Pastor. It's interesting we say this because I was actually speaking with Pastor Alex the other day, and on Tuesday, and I was sharing with him that, and I was still talking about my work, so I'm not avoiding it. I want to say something. I was sharing with him that one of the things I took away from the party, from the event of the weekend, was that you began from the end in mind in your celebrating your birthday. So you chose from the beginning to have a celebration, to celebrate people. So it's your birthday, but you began from the end in mind. So everything you did was about people, or was about people, all the time people, not about you. Where for me, coming from knowing about parties, whether in Nigeria, England, wherever it is, usually it's all about the celebrant. So even if you get giveaway gifts, like, I don't know, cups or whatever, bowls, whatever it is, quite frankly, to have the celebrant face and things on it, it's all, and you've paid for it. You've actually paid for it. So in everything, it is all about the celebrant. But in your case, you began with the end in mind, and you wanted to use that as a tool to impact people. So I was showing Pastor Alex that you're so focused that even with things like when she said, okay, this is not a church thing now, at least let's relax and have a party. But because you're so focused, everything you do must still go to your ultimate goal.
Goal-oriented.
Everything.
Everything.
So I was telling him I need to
Purposeful.
I need to reshape my mind and wake it up and things like that. So now, going to Maiwa's laughter, I personally find her laughter very
Not just the laughter, but giggling.
No, sorry. I want to say something.
Okay.
I find her laughter very not catchy. What's the word I'm looking for? Like when she was supposed to contagious. I find her laughter contagious. So like when we were out in the hall, when you're laughing, I couldn't stop it. I find her laughter contagious. But then the question is, why are we here and what are you teaching us? You're teaching us, in my words, in my perspective, to have a focus and begin with that end in mind so you know what you want in every situation you have. So right now we have a platform and we are having a conversation and fellowship. So basically, I believe your question right now is, in terms of laughter and emotion, whatever it is, in my own way of understanding you, is that taking us towards the end in mind? That's how I'm looking at it. Though we are all relaxed here, but your point, from my understanding, is to do everything with a purpose. Do everything with the end in mind, whether you're smiling, it could be your hair, whatever you're doing, eating. Because at the end of the day, it's about the audience you're after. It's not like me in my room or having to talk to a friend. No, it's about the audience.
You are eating something very right there. And that thing you are eating very rightly, is the fact that our society is fun-oriented. And the way I'm seeing Maiwa is that she's also fun-oriented. She's coming from a society that is fun-oriented. And she's like herself a fun-oriented person, which is cool. But at work, they don't allow you to be expressional. So this thing we are doing, this like work. Yeah. This like job, assignment kind of place. So I could be fun-oriented in other places. But when it comes to work, I must bear the goal in mind. Yeah. So everything is about the goal orientation, the goal that we are pursuing. So even though we can have fun, but even when we are, what I want to correct today even goes beyond that. Yeah. That even when we gather to do fun, to have fun, like party.
Control tension.
That even that party, and that's why I want to talk to DSA family today, and I want you people to invite all the people who organized and who were present at the DSA family London party, Golden Jubilee or Pastor Sunday. First of all, I want to appreciate them, I want to thank them, and I want them to be present today to get my thanks. So if you know anybody that was present there at the party, call them please for me. Let them be here today to hear this my talk. The same thing, everybody that was there in Belgium, please, if you know anybody that is not on the platform now, call them, let them come and join and hear this. And the same thing with other places where people had celebrated DSA. I want you to call them and to know what I felt about their efforts. Because these people contributed money, I guess. They rented hotels, they rented restaurants, they spent money on my behalf. It has never happened to me before. And I think it has never happened to anybody in the world before. That people in different continents, in America, everywhere, gather together. Even in America, people have party. People have party in America. Just for DSA. The same day I was born, everybody is having party everywhere. Great idea. In Canada, people are having party. In Africa, people are having party. In Europe, people are having party. But I want them to gather now. And here, because I have two things I want to say. First of all, I want to express my appreciation to them. Secondly, I want to tell them, I know that they have not listened to my teachings on how to party the kingdom way, how to celebrate the kingdom way. They have not listened to my teaching on that. And they don't know that aspect of life. They are partying just like anybody else will party, any Christian will party. They are partying just like they party in every church. They are partying just like they party in any society. Right now, the culture has dominance still over them, instead of the kingdom having dominance, even in partying. And everybody thinks that's the way it should be. And I'm a culture man, I'm still African, I dance, I enjoy myself. But I want to put something in that will bring the kingdom dimension that my people have not gotten yet. I want to teach them that, so that we also teach our world and help correct the world.
Right.
Especially Africa, where I'm coming from. People have party there all the time, but nobody has the concept of kingdom party. The only other Christians who know that something is not right here, they walk away from partying altogether. Christians don't party in most places, but the ones who party, they don't know how to bring the kingdom dimension to party. So you are eating it, because even party must be goal oriented. And that's what she picked up. That she picked it up, that even our partying here, these 3 days partying, everything was goal oriented. Even the party itself. Even though we are doing similar things, having fun, but the problem I have is that the ones I've seen so far, they are celebration oriented, fun oriented. It is all about fun, having fun. It is all about celebration. It is party oriented. So party is still the centrality of the whole thing. Fun is the centrality of the whole thing. Festivities and celebration is the centrality of the whole thing. But how do you bring another dimension? That's what I want to introduce. And that's why I want everybody to come and hear me. Even though I'm so grateful. So continue. I'm sorry for continuation.
So basically, thanks for that, Pastor Sunday. What I'm understanding is that in everything we do, to be conscious, living now, the consciousness of where we are, who we're impacting. If we say we're going to have influence, how we're influencing people. It's not when I stand on the podium or do something special, I start to influence. I'm influencing anytime. Any opportunities by influence, like how you spoke about when you gave them a chance to talk about Bible, but they kind of escaped it. Sorry, I'm saying like that, but you know what I'm trying to say. But in short, be conscious in the now and use any opportunity to influence, any opportunity to say with the end in mind.
Yes.
So it's almost like waking up with a plan. Everything has to have a plan. Drinking your tea or coffee, everything has a plan.
That's the way we are supposed to live, all of us.
Pastor Alex told me, he said, because I said to him as a joke, I said, okay, when do you have fun then? Like, I was joking, but I'm like, do you guys relax? And he laughed. He said, of course we have fun, but in the fun we have focus.
Yes.
This is what Pastor Alex told me on the way back from the airport. He said, in the fun we have focus.
Yes.
Everything is with a focus. And I told him, I said, do you know I have a master's degree? Right, I have to go back to school. That's what I told him. So that's, I think, just at the end of the day, is to be conscious, and in everything we do, stay in the focus, stay in the now, stay with the focus. So nothing is just, nothing's too casual.
What I was saying.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You never mentioned anything.
I did. I said even in her laughter. Okay, let me kiss it again. I said even in her laughter, I said begin with knowing who your audience is. I did say so. Who is your audience? So, you know this culture.
Well, you said it in a way that even me, I didn't get it.
Oh, well. I'll say it again.
This is where I talk straight. That's what he was addressing.
I said begin with the audience. So it's like this. I've come along and we've been doing Facebook for a while, and we've been doing different things. And my one laughs, I don't think we've all been doing Facebook Live. We have. So the issue right now is this. Are we, I'm saying we, because we've all been doing it together. Are we saying that from now we should, no, I have to do this from, sorry. I have to do this way. I'm so sorry. That we should now say, no, it's not fair to change it now. We've been doing this. So do we now say, we now begin the live audience with the target in mind? I'll tell you where I'm going with this personally, because I agree with the celebration thing, because
I'm going to call Caroline to take
that's fine. Because yesterday as well, I was sharing with the gentleman last time about branding. And I was saying to them that I have a challenge with the branding, as like for example, I mentioned to you that when we go Facebook Live, this is me, my own thinking, and my husband said I don't have a sense of humor. God bless him, when I'm always like this. When we're doing Facebook Live, for me, I had different things I was taking off, and I had a challenge with personally speaking, because I like the idea of putting bright lights and being cautious of every single, the content, everything should be intact. The look, the clothes, everybody come prepared, because we are live on TV. That's how I see it. So when you come, you know, you have a sense that you are live and it's different. But what I see is that we sit, which is nice, we're comfortable, but in my head, we don't have a branding focus. We don't have a strong focus of branding. We're sitting like this. Therefore, if we are always been, I'm using we have been like this, and Myra has been laughing, and she's laughing today, because we haven't decided we're having a focus on branding yet. Okay. So we're going to start with the end in mind. I think her laughter can be addressed, fine. We can say, okay, we're now branding. Then we now say, what are the different things we're going to address with regard to brand? Because now we want to brand ourselves right. Because now we're not. So for me, her laughter is a part, but I could list a whole book of things that I think we need to tweak.
Yeah, but we're starting with this because this is connected with the party.
So going back to that, again, like I said before, God bless my husband, he thinks I have a sense of humor. So I don't do the giggle laughter thing generally. I can laugh, but I'm not a giggly part. I'm a very serious person. So personally speaking, for me,
even though you are a woman.
Yes, because I'm coming from critical management stuff. Corporate. You it's called put on a game face. For those who have been in corporate world, you put your game face on. So nothing is casual. When I'm in the office, I'm not casual, because even when I smile at you, my lips don't go beyond that, because I have my game face on. So in terms of laughter, personally speaking, and that's because, again, I'm working on my sense of humor. Personally speaking, when I'm live, I would laugh a bit like this, but I'm conscious. I'm not going to, that's not really me. That's me, personally speaking. So maybe I'm like the men.
I talk about men.
Yeah, so
I talk about general audience.
That's what I said. So maybe I'm like the men.
People who are not in DSA. Yeah. Is there any point where I made sense at all? Nobody
no,
my argument at all.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I said I guess I'm like the men, because I'm not an over-giggly person by nature. I'm not. So I think if we want to address the audience, we can ask ourselves, as part of branding, who are we addressing? What kind of age group and all that? And therefore, if we look at that, how do we want to approach them and how do we want to do it? That's how I call it. So the laughter, again, is one of many different things on the branding list. And if someone else thinks differently, I think it's just one of many things.
This one wants to talk.
Please, sir.
No? Or I put you on the hot spot.
I think you put. Yeah, I wanted to talk, and I think Mrs. Banjoko has said some of the things that I wanted to say, because last night we were talking about this, that we need to recognize where we are.
Yeah.
We need to recognize that the game has changed.
Yeah.
We need to recognize the fact that our level has gone so high, and the expectations out there has also changed. Imagine when Pastor Sunday was still on everyday Facebook broadcast, and we were having what, 100,000 viewers? Sorry?
Yeah, even more, yeah.
Oh, more, at least 100,000 viewers. Now, that immediately puts a high responsibility on us in our presentation, in our approach, in even the topic that we're discussing. We need to think outside of this room, outside of the church, outside of the ministry. We need to think about who are we reaching, and how are we actually scratching where it is itching for them. Now, coming back to what you said about Mayowa, I think I want to start by appreciating Mayowa, because since Mayowa started this vlog, she has taken it to a higher level. She has raised the bar, and one of the things that I think where she is now is to also raise her game. As a presenter, you must be able to gauge your audience. Know when to be strict, know when to be firm, know when to laugh and joke, but don't let it become a dancing and all of that kind of approach all through it. Because what it will do is, like Dr. Adelaja said, some people will back off. They will not join until the real conversation is on. So that is something that Mayowa needs to address. Now, with regards to the issue of women and men, the reality, like you said, is in most churches, it's even 70% of women and 30% of men. And the men, like you said, most of them are there because they have to drive their wives or the children, or the children needs to get to Sunday school. And it's even more so during praise and worship. When the women are having fun, you see the men just
take off.
Hardly do you see men expressing themselves in a flamboyant way, even during praise and worship. Now, is that good or bad, depending on what side of the table you are sitting on? But ultimately, you were right, because there is a language. Everybody has a love language. There's a language that the men understand and the men will respond to, compared to how the women will respond and how the women will receive it. If you don't mind, sir, if I can use my Facebook program as an example, the title is Become a Better Man. And when I started, the very first program, the first person to join online was a woman. And gradually, it became an issue to how do I tailor the message so that the men don't think I am now leaning because of the number of women who are joining. And at the same time, I've got to make sure that the women don't think this has now become everybody's platform, thereby the men are losing out. So that's a balance that I have had to draw in the presentation of my program. So when I come online, it is straight to business. And bam, 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 I'm out. But at the same time, when I need to address issues that relate to women, I lower my presentation approach slightly so that they too can hear what I'm saying, so that it's not flying over their head because it's a men's program. So with Mayowa, it's a case of knowing your audience and gauge and measure how you approach them.
I'm sure she never even thought about that men, women, and giggling, laughing, joking, that those things they are not received the same way by men and women. And all the women thing, all the giggling, men don't even know too much of the giggling things. So, but she might not even be aware, I'm sure she is not even aware that men and she's not even thinking men and women. She's just thinking on the platform, I'm just happy, everybody is happy. But she is not aware of what is happening down there. But that is why I am the leader. As a leader, I must consider many factors, underlining currents that she doesn't need to consider. But I must consider it. And if I'm a leader, I must talk about it to give effectiveness to what we're doing. Any other person want to talk?
I just want to pass a short comment. Because before now, I've actually been looking at the platform and DSA TV as well. To see the kind of audience that we are attracting. And I noticed that there are more women. I was actually going to suggest that maybe we need to, I was thinking that I would ask if we should have a male presenter, both on DSA TV and on the platform here. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Yeah, men presenters for both, because I've been looking at the DSA TV especially because Pastor Nkiru, she's mainly the presenter there. But I think we need a male balance, but I'm not sure. I mean, Mayawa will have to up her game as well and try not to, maybe balance, like what my husband is saying, balance how we present, being sensitive to the fact that there are men who want to come in and women who are there as well. But we have majority women who are coming in on both platforms. Okay.